So, hi, I'm Renee Bohr. I'm here with my client, Russell Fries, who's the president and CEO of Hendrickson, which is a 60-year-old company headquartered here in Illinois that helps their clients with creative solutions for how they plan and furnish their commercial office interiors. So, Russell, thanks for taking a few minutes today and joining me on this video.
Absolutely, Renee. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So my first question is just reflecting back over the last year. So we've been working together since June of 2019. A lot of changes have happened in your organization, but what have you learned about yourself over the last 8 weeks since this pandemic started?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and I think trying to continue to improve on who I am as a person and as a leader for the company, it's important to keep reflecting inside. And so one of the things that I think has really helped me and I've learned is the absolute need to trust my leadership team. We made some adjustments for the accountability chart back in October, and the team that we have in place now are just passionate, hardworking people, and to be able to trust them and what they're doing as far as achieving their rocks, achieving their goals, and what they're doing on a day-to-day basis during this time is critical. I think that as a leader, you often feel as though often you're carrying the water on your own, but to have a great group of team working with you is tremendously helpful to be able to kind of spread that burden over.
Yeah. So it's sort of the speed of trust.
Yeah, for sure.
Speed of trust, sure.
Great book,
and so
by the way.
How has EOS helped you and your leadership team?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple things. I think the communication pulse of being in a consistent level 10 meeting, I think has been really, really helpful. The way we have been able to communicate, talk with each other. The other thing too, I think EOS in general, our organization's been around for 60 years, but to have never really named our values, never really named kind of our core competency, I think helps us from a litmus test or almost like a lighthouse, a guidepost that this is who we are. So we can make our decisions on this. We make our decisions good and bad on, is this aligned with our values? And so I think being able to kind of frame that up from our VTO, and then the communication we have on our weekly meetings has just been critical for our business, especially navigating through the last 8 weeks.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So what EOS tool has been most helpful? We've got quite a bit of tools in the toolbox, but what's the one that really stands out?
Yeah, I think there's a couple. I think there's a lot of them actually, but I think, as I mentioned, the values have been really helpful to keep us centered on who we are and where we want to be, and to have identified those, the VTO was pretty critical for us. I think the meeting pulse, a forced meeting with an agenda, I think for us, because we never had that in the past, there was not we always had meetings, but they weren't very specifically prescribed meetings about what we needed to accomplish. I think that's really important. And now, I had a company call this morning, and I feel as though people have been in their homes for 8 weeks, and that a lot of people are just hitting the wall. And our quarterly conversations are so critical. Just reaching out, connecting with people, how they're doing, how they're getting along in this process, and to have it be something that we're asking all of our managers and leaders to do, I think is a really, really great way in which we can reach out and connect with all of our people.
Yeah, still my beating heart. Quarterly conversations. I love them, and it just warms my heart to hear you say that.
People need to be connected. They need to feel connected, and it's easy to kind of pull back, but we have to be out, and we have to be out talking with our clients, even if it's remotely, which is somewhat awkward,
Yeah. And Russell, what wisdom or advice would you share with your fellow business owners? I know you have a network of people that.
I think that there's really two things. I think you trust in your gut. I think everyone that's in a leadership position is there for a reason, and they got there. A lot of the reason is because of their gut, and so to trust that when you're dealing with difficult decisions, really kind of look inside you, what is best. That's one. And the other thing, especially during this time, is you got to look for heroes. There are heroes inside this organization every day, and to be able to find them, and then acknowledge them and appreciate them in front of everybody, or just one-on-one. And the other thing too, which is important, is that everybody is looking for you to be a hero too, and not a beat your chest, fly around with a cape, but just a kind of simple, humble hero to lead. That's what they want, and that's what everyone needs right now. So I would encourage any other business leaders to try to just look for the people inside the organization who are the heroes, and trust their gut, and to, stand up and lead as we're kind of called to do.
Yeah. So lead from the front.
Yeah. Right.
Well, thanks again, Russell. I really appreciate you taking time from your schedule to share that with us. And this is why you're one of my favorite clients, by the way.
Oh, is that right? You say that to all your clients, Renee, but thank you.
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. Yeah, that's because they're all my favorites. But thanks again. I genuinely appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Renee.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.